So today I just want to go over how society today is so fixed and has too many labels. And I'll go over what I mean by fixed. A lot of people have characteristics that are just overly defining. So people who like anime or books or movies or the gym, they overly kind of lean into that one category. And I have a lot of tattoos, but I'm not like a tattoo fanatic. And when I first got these tattoos, I remember people used to think I was like a crazy fanatic. But I really don't really care too much about tattoos. I just got them because I thought they represented what I want to represent. But really, I think people are too fixated on characteristics. They play life like they're a video game character and they have to stay consistent versus them just living life and kind of, going with the flow and kind of embracing things as they come and go. That's what I mean by being fixated. I think people just have a few things they cling on to and make that their whole personality. Now, the next one about having too many labels, I think, is actually a higher abstraction of the previous idea, right? So I think we put labels on too many things, right? We have relationships that have labels, like the situationship. It's been a word that's been trending for years now, and I think that it's just another form of labeling. And the problem with labeling is when we define things, I think it leaves nothing to the imagination, right? So I'll give you an example. Like if you were to, if it's kind of like tension between like relationships, right? If you were to be flirting, if you were to label what was happening, like, hey, I'm trying to attract you, kind of, it's kind of corny now, is it, right? So labeling is it's kind of doing that. It's kind of corny, right? If you go on Instagram, you look at a post. The post doesn't really leave anything to imagination. It tells you exactly what it is. Even in modern movies, there's a big for years now. I've seen big complaints about the plot kind of catching you up, where they state the obvious. It leaves nothing to the imagination, and I think that's what society is leaning towards. We have a lot of labels for I don't know what the demographic of those labels are, and I don't want to make this one too long, but I'll end it with this. I think the best example of this when I when I just did a quick search on it was Kanye West. I like Kanye's music, but his ideas are very fluid as well, and he says that we're in kind of this simulation that is self-imposed, right? So a kid will jump on a coffee table thinking he's Superman, but then the parents or whoever it is will tell him to get off that coffee table. Now Kanye is saying that the kid doesn't care about a coffee or a table, right? He only did that because it made him feel good, right? So we took away this feeling from this kid and gave him this coffee table that now he has to think about and keep on top of his mind. I can't jump on these coffee tables. And what he's saying is over time we have, as we get to older ages, we have, thousands of coffee tables, just a wall of them, stopping us from living past what we should be doing. And I think that's kind of a self-imposed simulation kind of thing he said. And it's so true. I mean, and I never thought about it in this way. When you really think about it, even you have these. I always say this concept called outthinking your biology. So it's kind of like what actions of you are like kind of like this apish biological idea, or and what version of you is just someone who is a logical thinking person, right? So there's kind of this struggle between the two, and I think it really kind of asks the same question, right? So what percent of you do you really want it to be this apish primitive version, or do you want to be more logical? And it's kind of this battle with the labeling, because the more you label, the more intelligent you feel, but at the same time you are living in a cage that you self-impose, because the more you learn, you may learn about even dimensions, or you may learn about physics, but those things are just concepts created by someone else, observations, and it's really just a self-imposed simulation. Obviously it's a well-written simulation, but it is still a simulation. But let me know if you have something to add.